I was in the service for 22 years. A lot of people don't know this. I was in two branches of the service. I was in the Marine Corps and the Navy. And there is no finer fighting force on this planet. I was at Walter Reed this weekend, and I'm standing there talking to a soldier who literally is missing. He's an amputee from above the knee on one leg, missing muscle from his left leg, had shrapnel taken out of his body, and all he is trying to figure out how to do is get back into the war zone. Long story short, I started a program while on active duty right before I came out of service where I was speaking to kids in schools during my free time. I then started a foundation on my own leave time where I was giving back some money to schools and giving out some scholarships to kids. And that all kind of snowballed. By the time I blinked, I was on NBC National News, the Today Show, and next thing you know, I'm creating this thing called the Montel Wimp Show. 17 years later, the Montel Wimp Show is still there. You know, one of the things that we did on our show, I think that was different than anybody else who produced TV, is that we didn't belabor what happened. We tried to figure out why things happened, and we tried to come up with solutions. And that wasn't something I had to do, here's my solution segment. That was every show, 3,200 of them. So whether or not be bridging the gap among race, bridging the gap among ages, I think we kind of hit something that caught on with the viewer. And I think the other reason was because I never didn't respect the living room that I was brought into. You know, my mother watched my show every single day. I look at some of the shows that we did and I think back on them. You know, we had people, we did things like I brought two brothers together who were survivors of concentration camps that didn't know that the other had lived 40 years later. It's like, you know, you look back at that and I think about that day and the family that flew in from Germany, and yeah, it was insane. You know, when you hear something like that, that makes you stop and pause. You know, I often, you know, I'm out with family and I'm out with other people. I get interrupted a lot at the table, or people come up and interrupt whatever we're doing because a fan might want to do it. And I have to say to them, guys, I was in these people's living rooms 5 days a week for 17 years. You know, something to remember. It's changed every aspect of my life, every part of my life. There's not a second that goes by that I don't realize I have a mess. Even standing here talking to you, my feet are on fire right this minute. I should have medicated myself about 15 to 20 minutes ago, but I did an hour on the show there, and now we're here together. The second I walk outside of this building, believe me, I will medicate myself with marijuana. I will do so, no ifs, ands, or buts, because I can't put out this fire in my feet. So again, how has it affected me? I'm trying my best to figure out a way how we can jump to the front edge of this thing and help doctors research. Number two, I have to deal with its physical manifestations myself. And number three, it's made me more aware of the fact that I have a ticking time bomb in a sense. And so I find myself now caught up in trying to do everything, not just one thing.